ever read the same page 5 times and still remembered absolutely nothing? Or watched your classmates memorize an entire topic in like 10 minutes while you're still trying to understand the first paragraph? And after a while you start thinking, maybe I'm just a slow learner. But here's the thing, most people aren't slow learners. They're just using study methods that don't actually work for their brain. So in this video, I'm going to share the 6-step memorization system that helped me learn things even when I felt like the slowest learner in the room. And the best part, it's actually very simple. Before you start studying any topic, do something very simple: preview the chapter. This takes around 5 to 10 minutes. Don't try to memorize anything yet. Just skim through the headings, the subtopics, the diagrams, and the overall structure of the chapter. Think of it like introducing yourself to the topic before actually studying it. Because when you jump straight into memorizing something you've never seen before, your brain feels overwhelmed. But when you preview the content first, your brain already knows what's coming next. And suddenly, the topic doesn't feel scary anymore. Now this is the part that will actually help you get into the studying mood. Instead of immediately forcing yourself to read a heavy chapter, start with passive learning. That is, just watch explanation videos about the topic. And honestly, this step helps a lot, because studying can feel really boring sometimes. But watching someone explain the topic helps your brain connect the dots and understand the bigger picture first. It's kind of like watching the trailer of a movie before seeing the full film. So now, when you go back to the chapter, you're not completely lost anymore. You already understand what's going on. Now that you understand the topic a little better, move on to something more active. Start solving MCQs, even if your exam isn't objective, even if you get half the questions wrong. The reason why this step works so well is because it forces your brain to actually recall information, instead of just passively reading. It also shows you exactly which parts of the topic you're weak at, which is very important for the next step. Now comes the slightly painful part. Start attempting actual questions from the textbook or solve past papers. Even if you don't always get them right or barely know how to answer them, still try anyways. Because one thing I've learned is that making mistakes is actually one of the fastest ways to remember things. Nothing makes information stick in your brain faster than getting a question wrong and feeling personally attacked by the answer key. So even if you struggle with the questions at first, that's completely normal. This step is where real learning actually starts happening. Now that you have attempted questions, you finally know something very important. That is, you know exactly where you're struggling. So instead of memorizing the entire chapter all over again, focus on the parts you're weak at. This saves a lot of time and energy. Because your brain already understands some parts of the topic, you don't need to keep studying those again and again. Just focus on fixing the weak areas. And finally, the most important step: always revise the topic after every 2 days. Because if you don't revisit the information you've learned, your brain will slowly start forgetting it. And honestly, nothing hurts more than spending hours studying something and then forgetting it a few days later. But when you review the content after a couple of days, you're basically telling your brain, this information is important, keep it. And that's how it slowly moves into your long-term memory. So if you feel like you're a slow learner, I want you to remember something. You're probably not slow. You might just be using study methods that don't work for you. Learning is a skill, and once you find the right system, studying becomes a lot easier and a lot less frustrating. So if you're someone who struggles with memorizing things, try this method and see if it works for you. And if you have your own study techniques that help you learn faster, feel free to share them in the comments. Let's help each other out. Thanks for watching.